Alright, so we'll start with this, and in the campaign, you are given a deck of cards. I'm not sure if it's the same for everyone, but it changes as you go. So in general, the strongest cards in the game are these some of the strongest cards are these re-establishing cards like Sea Titan and Kong, because they remove a threat of your opponent, so generally a big champion, while giving you one of your own, all for 1 gold. So we're going to go ahead and keep those because we don't know what our AI opponent is doing yet. And then we're just going to hold on to a draw 2. If we can draw some zeros, that wouldn't be bad either, just because zeros are strong. Alright, so let's figure out what this opposing deck is doing. So right now we have 2 options. We can either just play this 0 cost 9/6 champion, or we can pass. Both of these leave our gold up to respond to anything our opponent might do. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and play this 9/6 and then pass. So it looks like our opponent didn't play anything. They have Kong, alright. So we'll draw some cards. While Apocalypse may be a strong card, we always want to spend our gold each turn, so that's why I'm absolutely using it to draw 2 cards here on my opponent's turn, because since they spent their gold for the turn, we absolutely want to spend ours. Alright, and then we'll pass back to our opponent, so they have Kong in their deck. So we're expecting them to play more Kongs. Unfortunately, we don't have any great plays off turn. So I'm going to play Sea Titan, and then we'll probably just have to Banishment off turn. True, okay. Mythic Monster, interesting. Yeah, we'll remove that. It draws our opponent a card, but since they already have 7 cards in hand, it's not that big a deal. So AI appears to not spend gold on our turn. Good. Alright. And yeah, we'll just go to turn. Hurricane. We'll attack with Sea Titan first, because you always want to attack before spending your gold. Pyromancer. That doesn't do much. We'll let it block if he wants to. Nope. Alright. Well, seeing as we don't have a play we can make off turn, we're going to play the Mythic Monster to draw a card, and thankfully we drew something, so we're in pretty good shape. Flash Fire. That doesn't really do anything. Kong. Okay, never mind. So we're going to draw 2 here. Since our opponent spent their gold, we can spend ours. In what cases would you want to not attack first to give them the opportunity to play something? So that's a pretty big edge case. It's pretty rare. Sometimes, basically, unless there is something specifically strong about your opponent's ability, how do I want to say this? The question, just as a reminder, is in what cases would you want to not attack first to give them the opportunity to play something? And 95% of the time or something, you always want to attack first. Some situations where you would not want to attack first is, say they have a bunch of zombies in play, and you have like a Roxa Demon Tyrant in hand. You can spend your gold, kill off their zombies so they don't have blockers for your champions in play. And then for the most part, you have to be in a pretty desperate situation to spend your gold first outside of that. It's pretty much removing blockers or trying to do some niche play to gain an edge. Here, we're probably just going to take the 5 damage from Pyromancer. We could put Courageous Soul, play Courageous Soul and use that to block, but I think I would rather just take the 5 damage. So, this is a situation where we would consider playing something first. If we attack, our opponent probably blocks with Kong. If they do, we have Consume to finish off the Kong. However, we have seen that our opponent plays Flash Fires in their deck. So if we attack with Sea Titan, and if Kong blocks, they can Flash Fire to finish off our Sea Titan. So, because of that, we're going to play our gold first to remove our opponent's blocker and protect our Sea Titan from removal from a potential Flash Fire. Normally, if I was against a human player, I would just pass here without attacking, because I would expect my opponent to play something with their gold since I've spent my gold. But, seeing how we've seen that the opponent has repeatedly passed on our turn without spending something, alright, they spent their gold, so we can get rid of this. I wanted to attack to make sure I got the attack in. Kong, Fireball, okay. So, in this situation, since our opponent is so low, I think I'm just going to set up to win next turn, and I will try and use one of these blockers to stop the 5 damage, just in case our opponent has Flame Strike plus Fireball to win the game. So in this situation, this 3/1 minion is worth less to me than the 5 health I'm saving. Flash Fire, the AI should have played that first so I couldn't block with it, but since the block has already happened, we take no damage from the Pyromancer. We're also going to play our Courageous Soul first, so we can attack with it. So, this is interesting. This is the same reasoning for why we spent our gold first on our turn last time. We want to remove our opponent's blocker and protect ourselves from a Flash Fire. Alright, so this should be a win. So, I am very much. That was significantly less than 95% of the time. But against an AI opponent who has very scheduled behavior, it makes more sense to spend your gold first. If we were against a human player with their own deck, they would be more likely to have something like a Zombie Apocalypse or a Wave of Transformation to punish us for spending our gold first. They also might not necessarily have Flash Fires to finish off our attacking Sea Titan after attacking into a Kong. But, as I said, one of the main reasons why you would spend your gold first is to remove a troublesome blocker. But we'll see how much I have to do that against AIs going forward, which could be significantly more than we do against human players, which is why playing against AIs isn't nearly the same thing, but that deck was basically big champions, burn, flashfire. Yeah, that's about it. So the tricks to beat them were just always spend our gold. And we did remove their blocker before attacking. But, once again, that is not something I generally recommend. So yeah, that one's pretty straightforward. In general, just the get ahead, stay ahead philosophy that I've talked about in the past. Play your re-establishing champions to get ahead on board, and then use that advantage on board to attack for lethal.